because we in India, we believe that speed is part of fluency. No, speed is not part of fluency. You can be fluent and at the same time be a little slow. That's all. No, yours here was normal speed, but when we tomorrow talk to the children, let it be paced, a little slow. Think of telling the class about your own mom, your own dad, grandparents, neighbors, some auntie or uncle with some speciality to you. They are the easiest topics to start with. Language is the same. Language is the same. Whether you are talking about environmental issues or your crazy grandfather, language is the same. All grandfathers are likely to be crazy, and you should present the grandfather in a humorous way, at the same time with great respect to him. You are not laughing at your grandfather, but you are introducing your grandfather's idiosyncrasies. We call idiosyncrasies, certain strange habits, without laughing at, with great respect, but presenting in a humorous way. You can have the photograph of a person, Nehru or say Modi. That is real photograph. Somebody took with the camera. Number two, you can have a portrait of Gandhiji or Nehru. What is a portrait? Portrait does not need any technology, any machine or anything. Brush and paint, either Indian ink, black and white, or paint and brush. Portrait. Still, you see the same person. A third one is a caricature. Caricature is done with a pen or pencil with certain features exaggerated. Okay? Gandhiji's ears will be a little made larger. Indira Gandhi's nose will be made a little longer, like that. Finally comes cartoons. Cartoons will be the humorous presentation of the same person, Gandhiji or Nehru, anybody. Photograph is photograph. It looked exactly like that person. But there isn't much art in it. It is the precision of the machine. Of course, photography is an art. The second, portrait, is much more difficult. So when you present your grandma or grandfather or an uncle or a maid servant or a neighbor here, you are not giving the photograph, you are giving the portrait. You are giving the portrait. Okay? I don't know when grandpa say gets up, though he has been with me the day I was born. Maybe in the early years when I got up so early, grandpa too might have got up. But these days, when I get up 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, etc., I see grandpa sweating in front of the house or say on the nearby farm, etc. God alone knows when he started working, what he had before working, whether he had tea or coffee or whether he had say breakfast in the morning, no idea. Again, throughout the day, I see grandpa working like a clock, regularly working like a clock. Occasionally I can hear a little shouting from home. Grandma is targeted for some small fault. Grandpa cannot even stand small faults, whether it is from us or from our mom. If any small fault is there, Grandpa gets irritated. He thinks that the whole world is like a machine. It should go like a clock. You are describing your old grandfather or great grandfather with utmost respect to him. You are presenting certain features of old age. Almost all grandfathers are like this, all over the world. They have their own way of thinking, believing, working like that. So, with respect to your grandfather, but still in a humorous way, you can present him as a machine or a something like that. That is the art of rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of language, both in writing and in speaking. Number two, you might have noticed some people may tell excellent lies. You know that the moment they open their mouth, they are going to tell lies. Some of your classmates or some of your friends or somebody in the neighborhood. Because you know very well that it is a lie, but still you would like to listen to that person. Knowing very well that it is a lie, we listen to people because of the way of telling that lie. Rhetoric. Rhetoric. Old-time soldiers used to come back home once in a year. Those days only once a year they get leave. And say they don't sit at home. Even though they have children and grandchildren, they would go to a nearby tea shop on the road and they would sit there. By the time some local people will assemble. अच्छा रमेश जी आपका भाई last week I go. What are the news recent? Then the man starts telling the army life. Back in Kerala, nobody has any idea about army life. Very few people joined army. So whatever this man tells will be believed. But the problem with this man is he exaggerates everything. He used to claim that he finished off 5 Pakistanis or say half a dozen Chinese, etc., single in one fight, and then he had to live in a cave for 1 month without drinking water, etc. He keeps on going telling lies, but those who assembled at the tea shop will be buying him tea after tea and samosa for enjoying his story. Rhetoric. Knowing very well these are all lies, we enjoy the way one speaks. So, the way one speaks also is very important. I am not talking about English. I am talking about, say, Hindi, your own language. In every language, we have this type of writers, humorous writers. The one is the greatest Sardarji, Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh belongs to Sardarji community, Sikh community. And we have stories and stories about Sardarjis. All the foolish things the whole world did will be attributed to Sardarji. Like Sardarji did, like Sardarji did, like Sardarji did. India made Sardarjis as somebody who are foolish. They are not like that. They are clever people, they are very good people, they are very courageous people, very bold people. But we have a habit of attributing certain things to certain communities. Okay, that is outside Sikh community. Khushwant Singh is a member of Sikh community and he laughs at his own community better than anyone else. He tells stories about Sikh community. Finally, what happened was that members of the Sikh community went to the court. And finally, Supreme Court told him not to laugh at Sardarjis like this. Some of his books also were banned, but still they are available there. Quite a few jokes you can get from Kushwant Singh or Sardarji jokes. Even now you can get them. Sardarji jokes. I hope there are no members from Sardarjis here. Usually we may not have that much, but we can see them. But don't laugh at them. It's only for improving our English. A lot of jokes that will improve your English. Okay. Grandfather Sardarji was walking up and down impatiently in front of the hospital labor room. Labor room, you know, where the woman is admitted for giving birth to a baby. So, Grandpa Sardarji was walking impatiently because all parents will be very, very impatient, anxious, whether this was a problem. Then came a cry of the baby from inside. Oh, weird. Then came the nurse with the baby. Arey Baba, no problem. Sardarji was very happy. Immediately in his broken English, he asked, ma'am, have I become a grandfather or a grandmother? Have I become a grandfather or grandmother? What does it mean? If the baby is a girl, the fellow thinks that he will become a grandmother. If the baby is a boy, he thinks that he will become a grandfather. So in his English, he asked, ma'am, have I become a grandfather or a grandmother? See, nobody will ask these things. Only Kushwant Singh can do it. And laughing at his own community. Joke becomes a joke when it is pointed towards ourselves. The greatest thing that a person can do is laughing at oneself. It needs such greatness. I can laugh at you, you can laugh at me, but the moment you laugh at your own faults, you become a great person. Nehru was not able to do it, but Nehru asked his friend, a cartoonist, Shankar from Kerala, Shankar, don't spare me. That was a cartoon. Spare means leave. Shankar, you draw cartoons about me. Don't think that I am the Prime Minister of India. You keep on drawing cartoons. Later, his daughter, Indira Gandhi, imprisoned cartoonists. That is the difference between greatness. Nehru was really great. Indira Gandhi was not that great. She got irritated at cartoonists who presented her in some foolish way. So, laughing at oneself. So many such stories are there. On the flight, he has regular characters, Santa and Banta. Here. Sardarji was given this aisle seat. This is the aisle seat. This is the middle seat. This is the window seat. Okay? Sardarji got this seat. But Sardarji boarded the train first and occupied this seat, window seat, so that he can see the flight taking off and say the stars and right. The other two came. One sat here. The other seat is this one. Sardarji is comfortably sitting. She went and requested Sardarji, please move to this place. No. Both of them together tried that, say, this is her seat, see, window, F, E, D. That's D, E, F. Sardarji won't. Then this girl, this woman called the air hostess. Air hostess also went and said, Sardarji is stubborn. What to do? They went to the cockpit, and the co-pilot and the Sardarji, he came. Suddenly Sardarji got up and moved to his place, and the woman got. The air hostess went and asked him, "Arey Baba, how did you manage it? How did you manage it?" I told him, this seat goes to Mumbai. This goes to Jalandhar. The flight came from Mumbai. The flight is going to Jalandhar. I told him, this goes to and this. Sudden, because he has to go to Jalandhar. Suddenly he moved to his place. How to, my point is rhetoric. The point is rhetoric. How cleverly Khushwant Singh writes. Please read Khushwant Singh. If you can spend 100 rupees, buy a small book by Khushwant Singh, which will be available in any bookshop. Please try to invest a little. If you have money, if your parents have money, try to have a small library at home. A small library at home is 1000 puja rooms at home. A small library you should develop. Those who don't have, you should start, because by the time your child is born, the child should see a library. Okay, he agreed. My friend agreed. You build a puja room and have all the pictures of Devas and Devis, okay, that's left to you. But by the time you have a child, there should be a very good library at home, and the child should be crawling on 4 and say, creeping through that thing and say, pulling a magazine and tearing the pages, all those things. A child should grow with the books. A child should grow with books, along with books. Newspapers, magazines, beginning with tearing. Tearing is the first reading. Tearing the newspaper is the first stage of reading. You should give children old magazines and old newspapers freely for tearing, break into pieces. That's a way of reading. Slowly and gradually, they will start looking at the pictures, head upside down. Bike. Oh, now it is bike. From bike, car, jeep, then goes to bullet bike, Hero Honda, Yamaha. From general scooters, they are going into Activa, and this is known as cognitive development. Cognitive development. You will be cooking in the kitchen. Somebody will be, cleaning the bike or etc. The child is somewhere in the. I talk about the 2 or 3-year-old will be on one's own developing cognitively. No need of teaching any of these things. If you have pictures and say letters and reading materials, children will naturally go. In its place, even if you have all the other luxuries, including TV and video and whatever may be, no use. Books cannot be substituted in the mental development of children. Cognitive development, we call it. Conceptualization is the process. Conceptualization. Just look at, I am taking 2 bars of chocolate. Chocolate is singular, don't say chocolates. Bars of chocolate, like soap, like a bread. I'll come. I take 2 bars of chocolate to a 1.5-year-old. One is a small piece, this one, that is eclair. Eclair, is it okay? Eclair. The other is Amul Milky Bar, 5 rupee. Okay. Suppose I take these 2 and ask, you can take only one. Which one do you want? Naturally, the 1-year-old goes for Milky Bar. Why? It is longer conceptualization. Long, short conceptualization. Next month, I show same length. Okay, same length. One Amul Milky Bar, the other is Cadbury. He has tasted both earlier. Okay, both he is familiar, taste familiar earlier. Same length, same size, same weight. One is Amul Milk Bar, the other is Cadbury's. Which one do you want? Cadbury's. Higher stage of conceptualization, because Amul, both are okay. Maybe some children may prefer Amul also, depending on their preference of taste. Because in Cadbury's there are certain additional taste makers also, whereas in Amul we don't have much taste makers. So from concrete length, Eclair versus Amul, then to abstraction, taste. It has this taste, it has this taste. I will go for this one. This is the way conceptualization takes place as part of cognitive development. These things are to be experienced by children, not to be taught. Similarly, sitting in your small library and taking from the shelf some of the old picture books and partly tearing them off and then going tomato, potato, then goes with mama. So you are busy with making breakfast. So you are supposed to help with this name of this thing. Children can be educated completely home. Now it has become a fashion. One of my students, who is currently a professor at IIT Trichy in Tamil Nadu, she doesn't send her child to school. Now the child is 8. Now the child is 8 years old. She says that there is no good school around. I am planning to take care of the child at home, maybe till 10 years or 15 years. Finally, I will send her to appear for the SLC examination. This has become practice. That means if you have all these things at home, children will learn physics, maths, chemistry, English, anything. And language is the easiest thing for them to learn. Think of all these things for future, though not for immediate use. That is what education is. Education is not taking care of your next semester examination. That is coaching. That is coaching. What I am doing is teaching. Teaching is for future. It also takes care of present as well. There is a remarkable distinction between coaching and teaching. Think of all these things put together. Yes. Now let us move to this worksheet. Retelling events from a different viewpoint in time. From a different viewpoint. First, read those 7 questions. How did I say 7 questions? Did I count? How many are there questions? How? I straight away came and looked and told you what do the 7 questions tell you. How did I come to number 7 without counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Tell me. The 26 letters of the alphabet you should be able to divide into groups of 5. This evening itself, group into groups of 5. A, B, C, D, E. E is 5. E is 5. Okay? F, G, H, I, J. J is always 10. Right? Like that. These are essential for quick work. In the exam hall, banking service exam, Madhya Pradesh Public Service Commission exam, time means money. So you need not get time to check how many questions are there. Say H. H means 8. Out of the 8, I am supposed to answer 5. I can leave out 3. Because on top it is said, answer any 5 questions below. And you want to know how many questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Suppose you have this frame in you, without counting, you get 8 questions are there. I have to answer 5. I can leave 3. Which are the questions I am going to leave? Okay, this one. This one. Start working. That means when you sit and do these preparations here, there you are saving time. At the interview, after the say written preliminary, I was told, I don't know that is right or not, the final interview, IAS, it was on the first floor. A young man went into the cabin. 4 or 5 experts are sitting there. Okay, Mr. Please be seated. And he sat. Remember how many steps were there for the stairs? The first question was, do you remember how many steps were there from the ground floor to this floor? He immediately said 20 or 19. Do you ever think the possibility of such a question for an IAS exam? How came such a question in the IAS exam? Such a foolish, stupid question. What is the use of knowing how many steps? How many of us know how many steps are there for us to reach from the ground floor here? None of us noticed. We came to this place 20 times, but we don't know. But why should an IAS man know? Think of it. No need for a doctor to know it, but they think that an IAS man, a young man, should know it. Why? That young man answered correctly 18 or 17 or 15, what may be. My question is, why should a young man know? An apprentice, IAS apprentice should know. No idea? The reason, when he is posted as a sub-collector or collector, at midnight he gets a phone call, okay? Either some flash flood on river Narmada, or some fire in the district hospital, okay, with the 200 beds. He may any time get a phone call of disasters. From the night dress, he has to jump into the formal pant and shirt, no need of say tie or anything. Then he has to get into the car and fly. Number one. While speeding to the spot, at midnight, he must be and he should be taking note of on both sides, schools, hospitals, any other places, because if it is a flood from 3 kilometers, here he is reaching 3 kilometers, and there he sees a very good school beside it. Decision is made. What is the decision? What is the decision? All the flood victims will be brought here. This is a wonderful school. Just one phone call from his assistant to the principal and the management, the school is ready for giving. Or a hospital also. So from home to that flood spot or fire spot, he is not resting. He is alertly watching which place, which person, which organization can be made use of in emergency. That's why the interviewer asked him, young man, how many steps did you climb to reach this floor? 18. He is going to be an excellent administrator. He simply didn't climb the stairs, he counted them too. These are all training which we have to develop. Okay. Finally, from one place, one made a phone call to his friend. The key of the house is with the friend. Mr. Prabhakar, please open my house, and in my study library, on the second right shelf, on the third stack, there is a huge volume. The title of the book is, the name of the author is, please take that book and send it to me by courier. The man opened the door, went to the study, went to a second shelf on the next, went to a third rack, picked the book, locked out, came out, sent it to me by courier. You should know exactly where things at home are. All things, not only things which, a small bottle of Vicks for grandma at midnight, a small strip of kerosene for grandpa at midnight, a thermometer, if you have one, for the young child at home. Even if there is power cut, you should be going and say opening that small thing and that you will be taking that say thermometer and coming out. You must be thorough with every needle at home. This will transfer you to your studies. How? In class, you immediately locate that particular portion on page 74. Time is money. Time management means you are controlling your life. Okay, now read the 7 questions and then read the newspaper report, both sides, and then move back to the answers. Just now I taught you life skill. Quickly. First read the 7 questions, then the newspaper report on both sides. Go back to questions. I am not going to do it. You have to manage on your own. Word meanings are given on page 2. Varadaraja Perumal is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva. In Tamil Nadu, Varadaraja Perumal. Okay, stop for a while. 2 seconds. Look at me. Don't look at the sheet. When did the theft occur? When did the report appear? Don't look at your sheet. Look at me. When did the theft occur? When did the report appear? 8th September the theft occurred. 28th or 29th? Okay, report came. Quickly grasp the meaning. Quickly grasp. 8th and 25th or like that. Finished? Okay, get ready. Write a report on 9th of September. Write a report on 9th of September. This is 25th. A report appeared on 9th. Write that report. This is the report of 25th. Write a report which appeared in the same newspaper on 9th September. Be quick. Work together. Take all the details from this report if necessary. What is the nucleus of the report on 9th? What is the nucleus message of the report on 9th? Idols stolen from a temple. Okay. Okay. All the other things came much later. Police came in and investigating all those things. So simply state the fact that number, types, made of, etc., stolen from dash dash temple in dash district of dash state. Very brief. Work together, speak together, and write the same thing. You can underline the necessary details in the original this report. Which will you lift? Coimbatore Crime Branch Police. Do you need it today? No. This yesterday it happened. First part over. Here in the early hours of today, recovered from them entire set of 12 idols that you need. 12 idols. 250-year-old Sri Varadaraja Perumal temple. You need. In Sundanavur village in Pudukkottai district. You need it. Value, etc., you don't need now, because nobody can tell you the value because only this morning we found they were missing. Only later we can calculate the value and all those things. Next page. A yatnam, a yaga, needed. 8th September, needed. 12 idols, needed. Yatnam cancelled, needed. Nothing else. Write a very brief report. 9th September, be quick. What's the title of the report? Temple idols stolen, or temple idols missing. Now, one or two long sentences, a brief report with all the underlying details. Finally, the Dash police have registered and started inquiry. Which place police you find out? The Tanjavur police or say some other police, the Indore police have registered a case and started investigating. Speed matters. Whichever exam you are writing, speed is very important. Check with the other, modify your writing. Number 12 is essential, don't miss it. Name of the temple and address, essential. No need of details of the police right now. Yes? Check with your neighbors, partners. You borrow them, you lend them. One word, one phrase you should get from your neighbor, you will be giving to your neighbor also.